must be crazy. Think he's gonna love your crooked smile. The way you laugh, no one could take it. I'm the only one gonna love you right, baby. Treat you right, baby. When you know it. The things you said play over in my head. Only you can love me time and time again. You'd say it and I'd believe it. Boy, kept me from leaving, thinking no one else can love me right. Then I learned I was more than this, and the love shouldn't hurt like this. So I said I was leaving. I remember you screaming, nobody's gonna love you like me, girl. Nobody, 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 nobody's gonna love you like me, girl. Nobody, 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 nobody. And I'm so glad that nobody's gonna love me like you, boy. Glad that nobody's gonna love me like you. Nobody, 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 nobody. So glad that nobody's gonna love me like you. What if he's right and I'm just being crazy and stupid? What if I leave? Would I regret it? Would it be foolish? What if I go right now? Nobody pursues me. Is it all true, or am I just making excuses? What if love don't get no better than this? Should I stay and accept a love that doesn't exist? Or what if I really needed you? What if I gave up way too soon? I used to cry myself to sleep at night. To stay, I ran out of reasons why. I said I was leaving, and I remember you screaming, nobody's gonna love you like me. Nobody. You said nobody, baby. Oh, I'm so glad, so glad, so glad. One's gonna love me better, boy. No, 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 no. You said nobody's gonna love me like me like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You said nobody, nobody, nobody.
And so I met her in person, and fuck, it was my cousin. Anyway, welcome to Sunday Morning Sessions. This is Dremagix. We're here with our special guest, Rozen. How are you? Thank you for showing up.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
So, looking at the stuff you do, it's on Spotify, and there's two kind of albumy, like two EP, albumy, EP things.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's called?
Pages.
Pages, because there's more than one, unless it would be called
Page.
I'm just interviewing. Tell us about that project and the kind of content you put out.
So Pages is a 2-part EP.
That's what it's called, Pages.
6 songs total, and it's called Pages because it was inspired by the pages of my journal. And during the time in which I used to write in that specific journal, I was actually in a really abusive relationship. This is going on, 5 years ago now. I was in that relationship. That's when it ended. But I didn't really have the strength to speak out about, that darkness and that thing that happened to me, which affects 1 in 4 people in the world, and it happens every 9 seconds in the United States. But I wasn't strong enough to, you know, speak out about it. So I decided to pour it into song and ultimately create specific journal entries into song lyrics. And that's the inspiration behind that. And it's like catapulted me to become who I am today, which is also a domestic violence keynote speaker. And I work for this nonprofit organization. I speak for them. I travel to different universities just to share my story and ultimately shed awareness on more against domestic violence and help provide resources. And that nonprofit is also ran by a girl who's half Filipino. So that's how we actually connected. Yeah, we actually connected through Instagram after she heard my Pages EP. So yeah,
oh, that's super cool.
It's just like one whole
I super applaud you for taking like the pain of that and turning it into something like super positive and productive and something that serves you. I know if I put out a project on about my childhood journal, those pages would be stuck together. So wow, it got really fucking cringy. It was just a bit. There are pages there too. But yeah, it's super great that you're taking that message and putting it out, because it's a very it's hard to talk about, especially when you're in the thick of it, right? So what advice would you give like women, or like even, I mean, anyone, right? Men, women, whatever you identify with, in that situation, in the middle of it, because it's definitely easier after you get out.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I think the advice that I would give to someone that was in the thick of it currently, doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, bi, young, old, female, male, whatever, because domestic violence has no type. So one thing that I would say is it's not your fault. The next thing I would say is I believe you. And the next thing I would say is be careful your next move, because as much as you want to be free, the most dangerous part of a domestic violence relationship is ultimately making the decision to leave. Why? Because your abuser has nothing left to lose. So they will target you even more, which is what my ex did. It was more dangerous to actually leave that relationship than it was to actually stay in it and fake all of that love. So I would say be smarter than your abuser. It's like a chess game, and you have to learn how to be smarter than them. If your safety and your freedom is something that you value, you're going to fight for that. It's not going to be easy. It's not your fault, but it is damn sure your freaking responsibility to get the fuck out of there for you, for your future family, for the ones that love you. Be strong, muster up the strength, look at yourself in the mirror, because a lot of us don't look at ourselves in the mirror after that happens. Be familiar with your reality, make a plan, and execute it in the best way possible, and have a support system that will plant themselves like a tree to ground you after that, because there will be PTSD. There will be times when you will have flashbacks. So it's going to be a battle that you need to prepare for. It's not something you want to wander into blindly. So that's something that I would definitely say.
For sure. And I know you mentioned having a support system and everything. How's your support system affected you? Because I know when I'm trying to get through stuff, I'm super stubborn, and like no matter what people tell me, I have to figure it out on my own. Right?
That part. I always say, you know, you always have that one friend that is stubborn, that likes to learn when they fuck up, you know, but that's kind of part of life. You ultimately succeed after you fuck up like 90% of the time. Like that's part of success. So sometimes a lot of times I'm that friend where I have to like learn from my mistakes, even though people are like, no, don't do that. Like, don't do it. I'm like, no, I'm going to do whatever. Yeah, I got it. I'm resilient.
I've lived enough life.
Right.
Like, yo, you 22.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, you ultimately learn from your mistakes, but the support system that I had is ultimately my family. Family is what holds everything together at the end of the day. That is your tribe, you know. I had to tell my family this over FaceTime because they live abroad. I'm a third culture kid. My parents live in the Philippines. My brother is back and forth between the Philippines and Thailand. My sister lives in Toronto, and I'm over here. So it was hard to even get that message like packaged and said to everyone that I needed to say it to. But as soon as I did, they just kind of like held me, you know, they held me and supported me every second of the way. They never once yelled at me for keeping it from them or for it ever happening to me. And I think that comes with the sensitivity that my dad was also a battered child from his stepmother after he lost both of his parents at a young age. So I think that sensitivity helped hold me in my dark time, and it helped me like bounce back because I felt like it was okay to finally say my truth when I didn't say it for 3 years.
Yeah. And now I once again super applaud you for taking that and you know doing the keynote thing and inspiring people to you know speak up, right? Because that's ultimately one of the first steps is like you have to admit like something's fucked up here and like tell someone or you know handle it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And after these shows, do you get like the response of like the conversations of the people in the audience are just like, yo.
Woo, yes. I actually always tell my boyfriend, like, wow, I have to remember to mentally prepare myself for the people that will come up to me after every performance that do want to confide in me. Because after I say what I need to say and sing what I need to sing, they do. It's like it cracks open their chest and they want to tell me, like, oh my God, it happened to me too. And as much as I'm comfortable with my own story, sometimes it catches me really, really, really off guard when I hear other people's really, really dark stories. And I have to like have a moment of silence for myself after the fact, because it's like a dark cloud, you know.
Right. And you want to empathize with them.
And I want to empathize with them, but at the same time, I'm still processing while they're telling me these things. I've definitely gotten way, way better at handling what comes up after every performance, but you know, every time it's something new. I hear a different story that's, you know, that my story can't even compare to. So it's a constant reminder that even though all of us were alone in our own darkness, now there's power in numbers and we can be together in that as well. Yeah. As eerie as that is.
No, yeah, I totally get it. Well, thank you for shedding light on that. Yeah. And thank you for coming to Sunday Morning Sessions.
Thank you for having me.
Where can everyone see your work or hear your work or smell your work?
Well, I don't have a perfume line out yet. I'm just kidding. That is a dream though.
Smells like corn.
Smells like corn.
That's just mine.
No, just kidding. No, smell like rice. I'm just kidding. What was the question? Oh, where can we find me? Maybe we should edit that rice part out.
No, rice is good.
Rice perfume. Anyway.
Rice perfume.
Perfume.
I feel like you shouldn't disrespect our culture like that.
That is respecting our culture, bro. Make a perfume out of rice. That's respect. I don't know what you want. But anyway,
where can they see you?
They can see my music on YouTube. You can follow me at Rozen Music on YouTube, but mainly everything is centralized through Instagram at official Rozen, and you spell Rozen like frozen without the F. So official, R-O-Z-E-N.
Don't stop, no stop. You always do the most in the worst ways. You keep going no matter what I say. Pull me closer, trying to keep my composure, shaking from the way that you do me. I'm trying not to let it consume me. Reminiscing of you when you're not around. Lean on me from when you held me down. Told me that no one could love me like you do. You do, you do. Who am I to question how you love? Even if it hurts me when we touch, I promise, boy, no one has loved me like you do. You do, you do, baby. With your hands on me, I can't hardly breathe, baby. With your hands on me, I can't hardly breathe. I'm pushing you, pulling, I scream, then you on top of me. with my face in the pillow, can't hear, but I'm begging you, please stop. But you keep going, going. I don't know where this is going. I feel your weight on my chest. Breathing gets hard, I don't know what is next. Neighbors always speaking cause they know your name. Cause every single night I scream it out in pain. Love like this gon' catch up to us. One of these days I'm gon' get enough. Keep it on the low, don't wanna know. Every month of passion trying not to show. Never knew the love's supposed to feel like this. With your hands on me. With your hands on me, baby. I can hardly breathe. With your hands on me. With your hands on me. I can hardly breathe. Oh, yeah, baby. I can hardly breathe. I can't breathe.
Thank you for watching Sunday Morning Sessions. If you want to see more of Rozen, our special guest for today, go find her on Rozen, our special guest for today. That's not her social media plugs. They're probably written down somewhere, so you actually have to read. Sorry. Be smarter, people. My name is Dremagix. This is Erik Escobar, who is very busy right now. All right. Goodbye. Mic drop.